or so to see if anybody else comes in. If they don't, you may want to, I don't know if you're comfortable, but if you want to put your camera on, we can make this a much more sort of conversational kind of webinar and answer any questions that you have, since it'll be like a private meeting. Oh, Shalanda's with us. Okay, great. Welcome. And as soon as Shalanda connects, we will go ahead and get started. Oh. It's like Shalanda's connecting to the audio. Oh, okay. Well, welcome everyone. Hi, Shalanda. My name is Sheila Gold. I'm the Executive Director of Admission from Tulane School of Professional Advancement. I am joined by my colleague, Hope Anderson. Hope, do you want to go to the next slide? Let's see. All right, well, while we are waiting, there we go. So Hope is our admissions counselor, and she is going to be presenting with me this evening. Shalanda, we had a couple other people jump on this call, but they look like they have dropped off. Hopefully they will join us again. But if you wouldn't mind, in the chat, which is right down here at the bottom, I'm going to put a welcome message to you. If you wouldn't mind putting in where you're calling in from and what you're interested in studying. We always like to know what our prospective students are interested in learning. Also, because this is sort of a small group tonight, I don't know how comfortable you feel, but if you want to put your camera on, we can have this be a little bit more conversational since it's a small group, and have this be a little bit more like a meeting as opposed to a presentation, but that is up to you. But in the chat, if you want to just drop, I don't know if you saw the welcome, but if you want to just go ahead and say where you're calling in from, that would be great. So next slide, please. Tonight, we are going to talk a little bit about the School of Professional Advancement. Tulane University was founded in 1834 as the Medical College of Louisiana. And what is interesting for you all to know is that Tulane is made up of 9 small schools, one of which is the School of Professional Advancement. But in the history and timeline of the university, it was only 50 short years after its founding that the School of Professional Advancement was founded. It began as a school with the intention of offering a Tulane education to adult learners, and we have been doing that for over 130 years. We're the third school to be founded. First, it was the Medical College, then it was the law school, then it was the School of Professional Advancement. But we have 130 years of experience working with adult learners. And traditionally, we define adult learners as any student who is other than that 18-year-old right out of high school who then goes to college. So if you have been out of high school for a while, if you started college and stopped and are coming back and getting your degree, if you're coming back and getting a second degree, if you just want to come to school to get a certificate, that's kind of how we define an adult learner. Next slide, please. So what we're going to talk about tonight is how we offer our courses both on ground and online. We'll talk a little bit about how our online learning is a little bit different, we feel like, from other schools' online learning. We'll talk about our programs and our faculty, how we support students so that you successfully graduate. And then my colleague Hope will come in and talk about the application process, our affordability, our student support options. Thanks, Shalonda, you're calling in from Shreveport. Great. And then, of course, all of this is wrapped up in the strength of a Tulane degree, which we know from our graduates helps them find jobs, which is what we are here to help you do. So let's talk a little bit about online and in-person learning at SoPA. So SoPA, by the way, is what we call the School of Professional Advancement. It's like our little name. It's easier to remember and say. You know, a lot of people learned about online learning during the pandemic. All education kind of had to convert to online learning. What's important for students to know is that we were in the online learning space since about 2017. So all learning sort of had to go online in 2020, 2021. We were there for about 4 or 5 years before the rest of the, planet had to convert to that type of format. And what makes online learning at SoPA different is that we have on our staff master's level educators, meaning people who went and got their master's degree in education, but instead of focusing on teaching, they focused on what was called instructional design. They got their master's of education with a focus in instructional design. And instructional design means that they learned how to take traditional curriculum that you teach in a building, you teach in a classroom, and they learned how to translate that into the online space. So they have a master's degree in translating that education into the online space, which means they know how to do that in really interesting and creative ways. So our students who take online courses, they don't just sit and flip through a PowerPoint. Their curriculum is fed to them in a variety of ways that's super engaging and also creates the ability for them to get to know their professors, get to know other students, and learn not only as sort of a learner, like a visual learner where you read from a book and kind of answer questions, but also auditory learners, interactive learners. We sort of engage all of the senses. So for instance, you might have real world scenarios as an exercise or as a lesson that you have to use that week, a scenario that you go through and then have to answer questions or record some feedback about. You'll have opportunities to do small group work. You'll have opportunities to do discussion boards. You might have classes like this, like in a Zoom format, where you meet with other students and your professor. You also might have opportunities to do simulations and interactive exercises. So it's a very, very different. It's engaging, it's interactive, and our students tend to really enjoy the online coursework. It's a lot of fun. It's not just like reading or listening to videos and then like putting a discussion board post up. So 2 examples of how our online learning is engaging is some of our classes are actually in the metaverse. So some of our coursework, not all of it, but some of our coursework, students may have to go into the metaverse, create an avatar for themselves, go through a simulation of an exercise. There might be, an exercise that they have to go through, especially for those students who are interested in like cybersecurity or homeland security or health and wellness. They might have some interaction with a patient or a security scenario in the metaverse, and then complete the assignment by going through the scenario and making different choices. For those of you who are interested in like the humanities or other courses, I know Shalonda, you said the humanities, some of your courses might be on a podcast. So you can listen to it in your car or listen to it through your earbuds. You can listen to it in little 10-minute clips, maybe while you're driving somewhere or cleaning your house. As opposed to just sitting down and like reading out of a book, you can listen to it through a podcast. And for those of you who are auditory learners, which means through the ears, that's an easier way to understand lessons as opposed to reading things. So that's just 2 different ways that we present coursework in online classes where it's fun, engaging, and sort of a different format. And our students tend to remember the information a lot better than just like reading something or flipping through PowerPoint scenarios. Another differentiator for our students is that our teachers do what they teach. So for instance, Bo Boudreau is one of our writing instructors, but he is an author and a poet, like a published author and a poet. So when he teaches writing, he has done that professionally for years. Tyra Mitchell, for instance, has her doctorate in physical therapy. She's the former chief of physical therapy at Ochsner, and she is our assistant director of our kinesiology program. So we have other examples on here as well, Shalonda, but those are just examples. And our next slide will give you a quote from one of our professors. So Amanda Fennell teaches in our cybersecurity program. She is a chief information officer at Relativity, which is a firm, a tech firm. But this is her quote, but it applies to all of our programs. So she says, as a cybersecurity leader, I feel it's vital to prepare our professionals through practical experience, which is why I incorporate my day job into my classes at night. And that is really well said, because all of our professors have a day job where they incorporate what they do during the day into their lessons for their students in the classroom, whether it be at night or during the day. But they bring real world experience into the classroom. And so our students find that they're very well prepared for the workforce once they graduate from SoPA. Next, please. Next slide. So here are the bachelor's degrees that we offer at SoPA. And Shalonda, you're interested in our humanities, which is great. I'm not going to read all of them to you, but these are the different bachelor's degrees that we offer. We also offer some certificates that you might be interested in while you're here. If you want to jump to the next slide, Hope. While you're getting your bachelor's degree in humanities, if any of these professional certificates are interesting to you, accounting, advertising, applied business, digital marketing, human resources, public relations, or small business development, those are professional certificates that you can also get. They can also be gotten in a standalone format also. But that's just something for you to think about, Shalonda, while you're going through your humanities program. Next, please. So one of the interesting things that we offer at SoPA is what we call credit for prior learning. And like we shared, we have been teaching professionals for over 130 years, adult learners. And a lot of our students have been working in a certain field and have an expertise that they have just from life experience. And now they're going back to school, and there might be a class or two that they find that they're required to take, but they already know everything that the class is going to teach them. So we have an opportunity for students to reach out to their advisors and say, look, I've read the syllabus for the class. I think I already know all of the learning objectives that this class is trying to hit. So what I'd like to do is demonstrate that I already have that knowledge and get credit for the class. So there is an opportunity to do that. For our undergraduate programs, you can do that for up to 24 credits, which is actually 8 classes. So you have the opportunity to prove that you have the knowledge for up to 8 classes, and that should save you time and money towards graduation. So that's a really great opportunity for students to move through a little bit more quickly. All right, I am going to stop right here and turn it over to Hope. Hope, do you want to talk about student support and success, and then also our application process? Can you hear me?
Sure, that would be
great.
All
right, thanks, Hope.
Thanks. And hi, Shalonda. In terms or in regards to the student support and success, I just want to speak briefly from my personal experience, because I am also a SoPA alum. And so I will say that throughout my undergraduate and graduate time, there was plenty of support available for me, not only the instructors, but also program program directors, just other people in the office that worked with SoPA, was always willing to help. So in that facet, you will not be alone through this journey. We have academic advisors specifically for SoPA students and specifically for each degree. So they are more knowledgeable in that area. For example, a humanities degree, you would have an advisor that would just specifically give you guidance through that track and what you should do. Not only that, what careers would be feasible under or had with having a humanities degree. The affordability for SoPA is, I say, much cheaper than a lot of schools, because it is in the area. And I know going back to school and wanting to advance your career and change careers possibly, funding is, like, for me, it would be the number one challenge or thing I want to work out and figure out. So currently, undergraduate, our credits are $596 per credit. And each of our classes are 3 credits. Our tuition and fees in combination are very at a low cost point. And I'll speak more about that. But we offer the university different federal aids and grants to offset tuition costs. You would contact the financial aid office to determine your eligibility. Also, any military personnel, retired or veterans, the Yellow Ribbon Program is offered. We have a liaison specifically for Tulane University that will assist you if you're military in locating fundings or accessing fundings. A 20% discount for for Jefferson, Arlene's parish employees or city employees, teachers. We have and PTK members. If you're familiar with that, there is at each semester, there's a form that's filled out, and that ensures that your tuition discount is applied to your tuition for that current semester. As Sheila just was stating, you can earn up to 24 credit hours for work and life experience. That's also an awesome way to offset tuition costs if that is like the biggest concern or a concern for anyone returning to school. The application process. Shalonda, I think you've begun the application process. I saw your name. And so I hope that everything is going smoothly with you for that process. The application fee is $40. And to speak to that, you're attending the webinar, so we would waive the $40 application fee. Upload a clear government issued ID. That could be a driver license, a state ID, or passport. And submit transcripts from every school that you have attended. You can have those sent to SoPA Records, or they can be mailed to us, and those addresses are found on the school's website. But if you don't or can't locate those, just reach out to me or Sheila. She'll forward it to me and we'll get that information over to you. We have application deadlines. Each one, as you notice on the screen, is like summer coming up, May 1st, and spring, January 1st, fall, August 1st. Also, which can offset tuition costs, is if you are registered. You're applied and registered for classes by April 25th, then you would be awarded an early enrollment scholarship of $200. Okay.
Thank you, Hope. I appreciate that. So, Shalonda, I'm not sure which term you're applying for, but if it's summer, go ahead and get that application into us and completed so that we can get you your admissions decision. And if you register for classes, like Hope said, by April 25th, which is coming up fall. Okay, so can we go back, Hope?
Yes, yes.
All right. So fall, if you get your application into us and register, so what you would need to do is get it in. We'll get you your admissions decision. So we need it all completed. If you register for classes by June 1st, you'll get $200 towards your first semester of tuition. So it's just our way of like getting students in, encouraging you to apply early, and then hopefully it'll just make your first semester a little bit less, worrisome with tuition by $200. So I hope you'll do that. And we certainly hope that we will be seeing you in the fall. So the next slide has my contact information on it, sgold@tulane.edu. If you have any questions, go ahead and email me. It also has a phone number. I tell people never call me. I'm never by my phone, but I'm always in front of my computer. Or if you have a question now, you can drop it in the chat, but if you don't, that's okay too. We don't want to pressure you. But we certainly hope that if you have any questions through this process, do not feel like you're on your own or you have to figure it out or like it's some sort of test or anything. It's not. We love talking to prospective students and answering any questions that they have. So I'm going to zip my lip for a minute, Shalonda, and let you ask any questions if you have any. All right, you don't need, that's perfectly fine if you don't. Well, we are super, super thrilled that you took time out. I don't have any questions. All right, thank you. Well, we're thrilled that you took time out of your evening tonight. Get that application and all those transcripts into us. We'll get you an admissions decision. You can register by June 1. It'll be here quicker than you think. It's almost April. We all know it. It's coming around the corner. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and hopefully we'll be welcoming you as a student very soon, Shalonda. So thank you very much. Hope, thank you. Oh, it's in. Okay, good. Good. Well, we'll keep an eye out for it, and we'll review it and get you an admissions decision. So thank you so much, and have a great evening. And you too, Hope, have a great evening. Bye. Bye, everyone.